So welcome to Sound Effects and Audio Clips. In this video, we're going to trigger a simple sound in Blueprint. Later in the course, we'll use C++ as well. However, we'll always reference our assets via Blueprint so that we're not hard coding them into the code, so we can rename them basically. We'll be showing you how to trigger a 3D sound. That's a sound that emanates from the position of the door, and the engine will start to work out how that sounds from the player's position. So that's kind of fun. So let's dive in and see how it works. So welcome back. You should find the sound file that I'm going to be using attached to this very lecture. And I want to say a big thank you to Game Master Audio. You can Google for Game Master Audio for providing me with this free sound file, and also there'll be some other sound files in this course. It's part of the Pro Sound collection you can see here, and I do encourage you to check these guys out. It's very kind of them to donate it for us for free for this course. Now, the deal is you're allowed to use it as part of the course, but if you want to use this sound file in a commercial game or for any other gain, you do need to get in touch with Game Master Audio and either purchase their collection or ask them for permission. So with that said, go grab the sound file. Let's go to the content browser. I'm going to make myself a new folder called Audio here in the content browser. And then in that folder, I'm going to import from. Now, in my case, I have it in this Building Escape folder here, but you will need to go download it. Or you can use your own sound file, or just get a microphone out, or your iPhone, or your Android phone, and or your Windows phone, and slam a door. Whatever, get a sound file. Just a .wav is fine, an MP3 is fine too. I'm using a WAV here. So here's this door lock sound. Now we can play this. There you go. By right-clicking on it, you can do all sorts of things. You can create a cue. But look, for now, I'm going to show you just how to do this in Blueprint, because we're already defining the behavior of the door here in Blueprint. And we're not going to go much further with this Blueprint because this is a course about C++. But I'm going to finish this door behavior off by just putting a sound in. If we get much more complicated than this, I would be inclined to go back to C++ and use more C++, because these things just become horribly unwieldy if there's too many of them. All right, so you've got your sound available inside Unreal. If you can, I just need to minimize this. If you can find the sound in the content browser and play it, like you hear it going there, then you know it's working. Then what I want you to do is to work out how to make the sound play yourself. So get the sound working. Get the sound effects playing on your own. Consider making or finding other sound effects. And why not make a short video using Snagit or Jing or something, and then share the results of what you've done in terms of your sound, and maybe you'll try and make some music, whatever. Push the boat out a bit here and add some sound to the game. And just see if you can get at least this door sound working by discovering the appropriate Blueprint nodes yourself. And if you're struggling, come back and I'll show you how to do it. So, welcome back. Here we go. Into the Blueprint for the door. Now, what we want to do is you search, either drill into audio here, or search for audio. Now we're going to play sound at location. Sounds are 3D if you do them this way, so play sound at location. When are we going to play the sound? Now this is the bit that may have been a bit of a challenge for you. How do you know when you're going to play the sound? Well, what we can do on this door swing, and look, it's perfectly all right if you couldn't work this out for yourself. I wanted to put a bit of a bigger challenge in here so that you could get your teeth really stuck into something. So go into the door swing, and you add yourself an event track. Okay, I'm going to call this sound timing, and I'm just going to add a node here at, let's say, 0.1 of a second. The value doesn't matter because we're not using the value, but I'll set the value to 0. So 0.1 of a second after the door starts to open, an event will be fired. What does that mean? Well, look over here. We get a sound timing execution pin. We can pipe that like so, just move this all along, into the play sound at location. So what happens is, as we go along this timeline, we can compare the two. Then as just after the door started to open, we get a little bit of a sound. You might want to do it earlier or later. It's up to you. You can move it graphically. It's easy. What's the location? Well, we get actor location, right? So we want to play the sound emanating from where the door is. And what's the sound asset? Well, we go into it and search for door lock. That's as simple as that. Let's try it. You hear that? Perfect. And then you close, and you get the same sound again. Now, you're going to say to me, I'm sure, in the discussions of the course, how about if we want to have more than one sound, different sounds playing at the start and the finish? Well, of course it can be done. Anything can be done here in Blueprint. Anything can be done in code. If you want to do that, I'm going to leave it as an exercise to the reader, because this, as I say, it's a C++ course. I'm only adding the sound in here in order to make things more complete for you. And I don't really want to make a spaghettified, complicated blueprint. You know, if a blueprint doesn't sit on the screen like this, it gets too big, too hard to follow. And I've seen a lot of tutorials that are really hard to follow with blueprints. So yes, you can do it. No, it's not that difficult. Yes, you have to think about what state we're in and exactly when you play it. Of course you can work it out. Of course I can work it out. I encourage you to have a go if you want to get better at Blueprint, but if you don't want to get better at Blueprint, let's crack on. Let's get on with the next section where we're going to be focusing on a whole new swathe of things that we can do. It's relatively easy to deal with sounds in C++ as well, and I'll be showing you how to do that later in the course. What we will always be doing is referencing our sounds through Blueprint, i.e. we won't be hard coding a reference inside of our game to the actual asset name here, because we want to be able to rename this with ease and without worrying about it. So we will always be referencing via Blueprint even when we do things in C++. So that's it. We've pretty much finished with this section. Maybe a little bit more polishing to do in the next video or next few videos. I will leave that open, but we have all of what we need to make a very simple building escape game. You've got plenty of mechanics. It's up to you now to go and do what some of the students have done, which is make incredibly impressive and elaborate building escapes using sounds, pressure pads, and you could come up with some novel game mechanics of your own that use what you've already learned. So see you soon.